Okay. We are gonna talk about the Tree of Life synagogue shooting. Now, the building itself was a complex where there were three separate synagogues all in one building. And a gunman, and these guys are not right wing or left wing. These guys are sort of outside the spectrum. They're so psychotic and disturbed and all that other bullshit. Like, you know how we have a presidential election and there are 70 guys running on the third party, and these guys are pretty much on the ticket in maybe one or two states, and these guys are uber psychotic fringe people. Like, they want, one guy will want all drugs legalized, one guy will want his state to secede, one guy will want the entire United States to be isolated as the world, one guy will want every gun law repealed across the board, which would even allow private citizens to own nuclear weapons. One guy's wanting to bring back segregation. Okay, just uber fucking lunatic fringe bullshit. Okay, the Aryan Nation. Okay, all that crazy shit that's like out of the norm for Republicans and Democrats. Okay, that's the type of guy this guy was. Okay, he would be the type of guy to vote in the third party in a presidential election and vote for the fringe psychopath candidate. That's what he was. He wasn't a Democrat or Republican. Okay, matter of fact, even though the left-wing media has said that the president is to blame for this, and people were literally shouting at the president to get the fuck out of here. We don't want you here. We have no room for your hatred. Okay, this guy hated the president specifically because the president moved the embassy to Jerusalem. Okay, so he was not a right-wing candidate, a right-wing guy by any means. Okay, and he wasn't a left-wing guy either, because left-wing guys, the Democratic Party has a lot of Jews in it. So he wasn't the type of guy to support Democrats or Republicans. Okay, he was an uber psychotic person. He hated Jews, and unlike most guys that hate Jews, like all of Hollywood, but unlike most guys that hate Jews, he didn't want to just hate the Jews, and he didn't just want to write Heil Hitler on the fucking synagogue wall. He wanted to kill the Jews, okay? And he came into the synagogue with 3 handguns and a rifle, and he said all Jews need to die. Now, they had a baby naming ceremony that day, and there were many members of the family present. Now, the baby naming ceremony is where the family goes to the synagogue and officially names the baby with the rabbi. And I guess you could kind of say that's their equivalent of a Christian baptism. So it was a very holy event for that family, and there were many loved ones there. And that was that. So he says the Jews need to die, and then he starts putting his theory into action. And he allegedly fired all guns. Now, the original belief was that he fired for 78 minutes, and it took forever for police to get there. A lot of that is bullshit, okay? We think that, according to the reports, we think that he may have been in the building for 20 minutes total, which means 20 minutes from the point when he went in to 20 minutes to the point where the police took him out physically because he was being arrested, obviously, and he was shot. So, he murdered 11 worshippers. They're dead. So the 11 worshippers were murdered. And he injured several more, including 4 police officers as they came to engage him with their full riot gear and all the SWAT shit going on. Okay. He started coming out as the police were coming in. I guess he wanted to make his escape. There's 2 kinds of mass shooters. The kinds of mass shooters that want to fucking die right there, and the kind that want to make their escape. Are they going to shoot another place? Are they going to commit suicide later? Are they going to go on the land? We don't know. But he shot up the place, killed 11 worshippers, injured many more, was walking out. Police met him, engaged him. He retreated back into the building, went to the 3rd floor. The youngest victim was 54. Oldest victim was 97. Now, any death is a tragedy, but I think we can all agree that we're happy there were no kids that were killed. Okay? It sucks to be 97 and be killed. That really does suck. Because you're 97, you want to make it to 100. Okay? But when I'm 97 years old, and I hope people get there, if I'm 97 years old, I would rather die myself than watch a kid die. Okay, that's the truth. And I'm sure that if that 97-year-old guy could talk, I'm sure he would say, better me than a little kid. So the victims were middle-aged to very old. Thank God they weren't like little young babies and shit like that, okay? He had a baby naming ceremony there, which meant there was a baby. And obviously, if you've seen baptisms and bar mitzvahs and all that other shit where they have from all religions, where they had the religious communion, confirmation, baptism, breach, okay, all this stuff. There's kids there, okay, there's women there who are pregnant themselves, okay, so thank God none of them were killed. He retreated to the 3rd floor. That's where the major gunfight took place between him and SWAT. 2 more SWAT guys were injured there. Like shot in the hand, shot in the arm, nothing vital, thank God for them. And then they took him out. They shot him and they took him out. He was wounded during the exchange. I'm in my iPad. So he had to, yeah. At the time this was written, he was being treated in the hospital. He's been released from the hospital. Now, when he went to the hospital, the doctors working on him were themselves Jews. But when you're a doctor, oath of Hippocrates means you help everybody. Okay? You help everybody. So it doesn't matter that he was a terrorist killing Jews and you're a Jew yourself. If you're a doctor, you help him. That's the way doctors are. They have to help everybody no matter what. It's the truth. And thank God for that, because we want that. We don't want doctors to be prejudiced against anybody. Now, he's being charged in the state court and the federal court. They'll probably waive him to only the federal court. I don't think they'll need to have 2 murder trials. Unless one murder trial fails, and they gotta do the other one. But, okay. The state charges from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania are 11 counts of murder, 6 counts of attempted murder, 6 counts of aggravated assault, and possibly 13 counts of ethnic intimidation. The federal charges are 11 counts of using a firearm to commit murder, 11 counts of obstructing the exercise of religious beliefs resulting in death. So, a terrorist attack against a religion resulting in death. And he could be charged with a million things, okay? Assaulting a peace officer, attempted murder of a peace officer, unlawful possession of a weapon. Because even if you buy a weapon legally, the minute you use the weapon to commit a crime, the weapon becomes illegal by magic. Okay? So it doesn't matter what weapon you have, how many licenses you have, how many registrations you have, okay? If you use the weapon to commit a crime, the weapon becomes illegal immediately. Okay? In fact, the law says that if you're holding a gun in your hand and thinking about committing a crime, that there is a crime. To hold a gun in your hand while thinking about a crime is a crime. Obviously, it's got to be proven, but I'm just saying that in theory. Once you pick up the weapon and think of the crime, the weapon is illegal. So he's in a lot of trouble. And because the federal government practices the death penalty, he's eligible for the death penalty regardless of state law. Now, mass shooters prefer places like this because you have a large group of people together and they're distracted. Now, in the movie theater, everyone is distracted by watching the movie and seeing whatever, action, bomb, whatever going on in the movie. And the gunman can get up and shoot people in the movie theater, and they'll be looking at the movie, and the bombs be going off, the guns be going off, and it'll take a couple seconds to realize that gunshot was not on the screen, that gunshot was in real life. Well, religious services are, well, at one point people are together in a large group, spread out over pews. Those benches are called pews, by the way. And you're distracted. You're distracted by, in this case, the rabbi speaking, praying, whatever the hell they're doing. But your focus is here. You're thinking about prayer. You're thinking about your religion. You're thinking about God. You're thinking about the baby being named. You're thinking about what you're going to eat later on, okay? You're completely immersed in everything except defense. You're not thinking about defending yourself, okay? So you're caught off guard when you're in a religious building, praying to God. Jews, Christians, and Muslims we pray to the same God. Jews, Christians, Muslims have a different way of approaching God, but it's the same God. So when you're praying to God, when you're immersed in your faith, you're not thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be killed today. It's just a distraction, okay? And he took advantage of that. He came into the synagogue knowing that they were going to be thinking about religion and peace and prosperity and stuff like that, and he was going to bring the hell to them. And no one was armed in the synagogue. The rabbi, was able to move people to a bathroom and call for help, and a whole bunch of other guys were able to call for help, and neighbors outside the synagogue heard the gunshots, because gunshots are pretty loud, especially rifle shots. And I always say that in a mass shooting, you have the secondary injuries. Shoving, pushing, trampling, okay? And I gave the example several times. If a 200-pound guy lays down on a carpet and a 90-pound girl takes off her shoes and stands on his back, he's not even going to feel she's there, okay? But if a 90-pound girl is thrown on a solid concrete or solid marble floor, and 4, 5, 6 foot, 200-pound guys run on her back, they can kill her or paralyze her. Okay? You might see a door, and that door might be a closet, but in the panic, you run to the door. And the first person that reaches the door is gonna have 20 other guys running behind them, and those 20 guys are gonna slam into them, and 20 guys rushing you, hitting you in the back, can paralyze you. You can really get some really fucked up shit going on with your spine, your vertebra, your neck even, okay? And they're gonna force you against the door, and that force of 20 plus people hitting the door full charge is probably gonna knock the door down. And when it knocks the door down, they're all gonna fall down and then on top of it. Okay? I'm not saying this happened, I'm just saying this would be a scenario. And you could break your neck, you could break your back. You might have the exit door, and 50 guys might run to the exit door. And the first guy might reach it, and as he opens it or she opens it, everyone else rushes behind them. And now you have a filter. You have a mass of people trying to filter into this narrow opening to get out of the door. And they could trip, fall. If one guy trips, chaos. Also, what if the door is glass? If I'm going out of a door in a great hurry, and the door is glass. And a lot of doors in churches and synagogues and mosques are made out of glass. We have a wood frame door with a nice sheet of glass there. Okay, we've all seen that. And you touch the door, and as you touch the door, everybody rushes to you. Well, when they rush to you, you're gonna crash through the glass. And when you crash through the glass, you're gonna have cuts, broken bones, severed arteries, a broken neck, fractured skull. You're gonna be crashing through glass and falling down on a solid floor. Okay, that's a problem. When the police come in, the police are gonna see a massive fucking panic. Everybody's just running everywhere, and the suspect is gonna be there. And in the crossfire, how many guys are gonna be jumping in front of the guns by accident, just running around fucking screaming? Okay, you could have an incident where the police mistake someone for the shooter. The police could literally come in and see someone fighting. Someone might be beating the shit out of someone, and the police might come in and shoot that person, and then say, wait a minute, that's the hero. He tackled the suspect and was beating the shit out of him. I mean, you don't know. The massive pandemonium is actually worse than the shooting itself. Now, did any of these things happen there? No, I don't think they did. But I'm just saying that they could have happened, okay? Things like that do happen, okay? If you go to the nightclub, okay? You've got 200 guys in the nightclub, okay? They're drunk. They're dancing. They're partying, okay? Some are doing drugs, let's face it, okay? And they're just fucking discombobulated. And when they see someone's got a gun, everybody runs in a million different directions, and they all, you very seldom have a guy strap his head on. Some guy might be like, okay, I'll open the door and stand here, and you will run out of it. Or some guy might be like, I have a concealed carry gun, and I'm at an angle where I can actually shoot the suspect in the back of the head and kill him. Or, we need to get out of here. This window's open. I'll get on my hands and knees. Everybody step me to get out of here. Okay? You very seldom see that happen. Okay? It doesn't happen that often. Most people will panic, okay? It takes a very disciplined person to keep their head cool when a rifle is being fired in a close quarter environment. Or any gun for that matter, even if it's a fucking BB gun. Okay? And that's what these mass shooters thrive on. They thrive on a large group of people distracted by either a movie, or dancing, or praying, hit them hard. And it's a very scary scenario. And people need to be armed. Okay? I think that if this guy knew that, and I've seen synagogues where the rabbis carry guns. I've seen rabbis that are fanatical about Christians turn the other cheek, we don't. I've seen rabbis in New York City that bribe the shit out of the police department so they can carry a gun in synagogue. Okay? Hire armed guards, hire retired police officers. I'm sure you can probably have a cop work overtime, okay? A lot of police departments are willing to lend you a cop for a couple of hours for synagogue or church or whatever the fuck you do. Some police departments will charge you for it. Like my police department, when I used to work in the supermarket, they had a cop there. And that cop was paid by the city, but the supermarket paid the city back for him. So if you're a rabbi or a priest or an imam or a sheikh or a priest, pastor, whatever you call yourself, you might go to your police department and very politely ask them, may I please have a police officer to help me for 1 hour during Mass on Sunday or 1 hour during synagogue on Saturday. And make the offer to pay. Say, if I have to, I will pay the city back. And what they will do is they will ask a police officer to work overtime. And trust me when I tell you, police officers getting ready to retire do this all the time. A lot of police departments, when an officer has 1 year left in his contract before retirement, the officer will be put inside and he'll work Monday through Friday. He'll have off on weekends. He'll have off on holidays. But he'll volunteer for every overtime assignment possible. Patrolman calls out sick. He'll fill a spot. They're doing a parade. He'll march in the parade. A dignitary is in town. He'll volunteer for bodyguard duty. A supermarket has a lot of cash on hand at night. He'll volunteer to watch that, okay? And they volunteer for all these assignments to do all this shit overtime. So you could very easily get a police officer who's going to retire in a year to come to your church or your synagogue to work a couple hours a day for overtime. You can do that. Or you may have a guy who is a veteran or an armed guard or someone like that that will volunteer their services, and you can hire them. Or pay them a little bit of money out of respect. Okay? Say, listen, if it's a police officer, professional under contract, offer the city to pay his salary. Say, we'll pay you back for him. If it's a retired police officer or an armed guard or a veteran or someone of that nature, say, listen, just come. And parishioners, worshippers, whatever you call yourselves, give them $5. Just pass them $5. That's all. By the end of that day, that $5 might be $300. $5 might be $1,000. I don't know. It's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, I've had people, you saved my kid that time. Here's a gift, and they give me like a little bauble, a little cheap toy, a little cheap gimmick, but I appreciate it. Okay, offer it to them. Say, here's an Amazon gift card. It's Christmas coming up. You have kids. Here's a $50 Amazon gift card. Here's a $25 iTunes card. Okay, just make the offer to them. And we're going to show you okay, I'm going to end this pretty soon, and I talked about this that night, and she did get back to me. She's now on Instagram, thank God. When it comes to sensing danger, cheating death, and saving lives, Gina Som makes me look like a positive novice. Okay? Read this book. Go on her website and buy it. She'll sign it for you. Read up on her story. She had a Beretta handgun, and she saved more lives in 2 minutes than anybody watching will save in 10 years. Trust me when I tell you that. We can't even count the lives she saved. It just takes one person, one determined person, to save the day. That's all it takes. It doesn't take a SWAT team. It only takes one person with the balls to do it. There are angels in this world, my friends. Angels. They don't have wings. They have flaming swords. And they go forward when everyone else is going backward. Remember that. Thank you.